Hello. Today I want to talk to you about a little word that has a lot of power. And it's also a little word that we tend to not really grasp, or some of us anyways. I know it took me a long time to really grasp the power that's found in this word. I knew it was important, and part of me feels kind of silly saying it took me so long to really get it, because it's a religious term, and people, they do acronyms of it and they explain it, and they have all kinds of pat answers for it. And I know I was stuck in that for a long time, and it wasn't until 2013 that I really started to get a grasp on how powerful this word really is. And it's a 5-letter word, grace. And you know, people do the acronym God's riches at Christ's expense, and you know, they do all that stuff, and it's, you know, God giving you stuff you don't deserve. And it sounds so empty. And I got a revelation of it, and I wanted to read something to you out of my book here that I had written back when I knew that that word was a big deal, and I knew God was the source of it, but I really didn't get it. And I wrote what I'm going to read to you 4 years before I really understood. And why I want to do that is I want you to hear this, and I want it to give you hope, so that you can see that you don't have to understand what you ask God for. You can ask him for things and not even know what it really means, and know you need something, and just say, I need you to give me what I need. And you can ask for grace. Grace is so powerful. It's one of my go-to prayers all the time. Is I just, like it's in Zephaniah, it says grace, grace. And I pray that because I believe of the power in that now, that when I pray grace, grace for someone, that I am unleashing all the goodness and power of God into that situation I'm praying for, just like what I want to read out of here. And it's a poem that I wrote that's called You Are My Grace. And when I wrote this, it was me crying out to God for help, because I needed help at that time. And I think this is really beautiful. I'm going to give God the credit for it, because I think he wrote it and I got to be the one sitting there doing it. But I want to read this to you, and I hope it speaks to your heart, and that you can cry out to God for grace, and he'll reveal it to you as you just lean into him. He'll show it to you. So you are my grace, source of all life. You know my heart. You hear it singing as I write, of how I long to do your will and feel the satisfaction of your pleasure. Your spirit whispers, your word speaks, and I make my choice. I choose you, I choose you. So I run full speed ahead to follow your voice, expectation of joy, expectation of joy. Source of all love, you know my heart. You hear it weeping as I write. You understand that when I arrive at a place you call there, and unexpectedly find grief and despair, you are my grace. You are my grace. Almighty agape, everlasting, holiness, everlasting holiness. I'm tripping over my own words. That's why I laugh at myself. Incorruptible righteousness, undaunted mercy, faithful intercessor, graceful redeemer, I thank you. I thank you. You are my grace. You are my grace. My grace in the face of discouragement. My grace in the face of pain. My grace that teaches me how to breathe when dreams turn to dust and the pain overwhelms. My grace when your people disappoint. My grace when I am just like them. My grace to face what lies ahead in the dark, where I cannot see, but you can, for you are light. my grace to respond to pat answers, my grace to false accusations, my grace when I fail, my grace when I prevail, my grace to climb these mountains, be they in life or in my soul. You are my grace. You are sufficient. You are my grace. You are sufficient. I will come forth either walking or standing or you carrying me. I will come forth, for you are my grace. And as I said, I wrote this back in 2009. And it wasn't until the year 2013 when I really started to get a revelation of that grace. But you can reach for that grace. You need that grace. We all need that grace. And it will empower you to do things, to overcome things, to go through things, to endure things, to recover from things. It is so powerful. And so I wanted to share that grace with you today because I love you and I know how much it has changed my life. And I wanted to give you something today. I wanted to show up today and give you something because this year has been so hard. And here in Michigan, things are starting to get a little harder again. And I wanted to give you something because I love you. Danielle Bernock from DanielleBernock.com. Until next time.